We back to back with D hoes. We back to back with D hoes. We back to back with D hoes. Also, going done with them bitches. Shout to T. Man, you already know what I'm finna say. Don't do no talking. Only thing we gonna say, a case too disturbing to make it to Netflix. That shit crazy as a bitch, boy. But let's see what them motherfuckers talking about. Like I said, straight to it, straight eight. It's, hey, no. Hold up, hold up, hold up. Yeah, make sure everything cool. Yeah, make sure everything right. There you go.
TV just after midnight, coming out of the house, carrying a light laundry basket down
I
a
might
quiet
edit that
street.
up.
He
Yeah.
walks behind a smoke shop and disappears from view. At the time, no one knew
Can
what was
hear
inside the
me.
basket. It wouldn't be until the next day when a construction worker finds something disturbing. Take him to the dumpster. When they brought you to the dumpster, there's a lot of clothes and shit in there all stowed all over, laundry baskets, and there was a couple pair of shoes with some slipper shoes too, slipper shoes. Okay, they was red. They had blood on them. They all look like female shit, real though. Male shit too. Female and male clothes. Yeah.
Mm.
The next day, around 1 p.m., this mother, Heidi Noel, arrives at her daughter, Lisa Dodd's apartment. Lisa is 22 and currently 8 months pregnant. Heidi hasn't heard from her in over 15 hours since the night before. Something feels off. She lets herself in. 2 minutes later, other residents can be seen opening the door. Heidi steps back outside, visibly shaking. The neighbors' expressions say everything. And then Heidi
Damn.
makes a chilling 911 call.
Wait, what? Angle, that's fucking crazy as fuck. What did she just say? My girlfriend, I mean, I'm sorry, my daughter, he chopped her. What?
Police arrive shortly after.
That's,
Discover the
bro, that's fucking crazy as fuck. There you go, you damn right that motherfucker didn't make it to fucking Netflix. What the fuck? You do some shit like that. I ain't gonna lie, some of these dudes out here is really sick in the head. I ain't gonna lie. This shit dumb. They crazy for real. Cause what the fuck?
lifeless body of Lisa. In this video, we'll walk you through exactly what happened to Lisa Dodd the night she was murdered.
Bro, just imagine you walk in and seeing some shit like it. It's fucking, your ass would be the same.
With never before seen footage here on the decoder, we advise viewer discretion as some of its contents may be disturbing. Now, let's dive into the chilling murder of Lisa Dodd. Lisa was living in Alton, Madison County, in Illinois, a suburb of St. Louis, in which she was born. Though it has a far higher crime rate than that of Illinois as a whole, it's where she felt at home, and the residents of this quiet street feel the same. It discovers something in the dumpster that shouldn't be there. What do you look like? Y'all like that?
I had to go ahead and skip past that. They trying to give a whole backstory, but I understand it.
Okay, that's the teeth on it. So like a carrying knife? And the teeth on it, you couldn't be serrated? Yeah, like that. What the knife look like? Was the handle on the blade or was it? No, it was short, about like this. Yeah, like that. Yeah. And when you picked up the knife, did you pick it up by the blade? Did you pick it up by the handle? You got handle. Look at it. It all shit blood on it. Was the blood on the handle? Was it on the blade? Was it covered in it? Was it on the blade? Was on the blade? Yeah. The contractor knows something isn't right about this scene, and he wants to get as far away from it as possible. This is the first sign that this June 9th isn't going to be as ordinary a summer day as the local residents first thought. What time did you left here from her? Okay. Can you talk to her last time you sent your text message? Right. Okay. Johnsons are coming. They'll be there. Okay. Okay. First responders are dispatched at 12:59 p.m. and they arrive to find Heidi still sitting on the steps, crying. Where we going, huh? Anybody else here? Do you have the key to get in? Right here, right here. This one. Do you have the key? She gives them the code to enter the apartment building. And though they know what they're going to find, it never gets any easier. Sure. Lisa's apartment is on the second floor. The door is unlocked. They discover her body in her bedroom. At least they think it's her body. Her head appears to be wrapped in a towel like a turban, but underneath the turban, her head is gone. It's been cut off.
Bro, that's
You want me here? Can we go sit on these front porch steps, okay? You know what? I'll tell them. I'll tell them to go away, okay?
bro, that's fucking crazy. Bro, I can't even imagine no shit like it.
Well, I just upstairs to the right. Here, let's take some big deep breaths for me, okay? And then I touched her, and she was cold, and so then I wanted to make sure that and then please find your head. No one else is in the apartment. There's no sign of a murder weapon, and there's no sign of Lisa's head either. Her killer must have disposed of it elsewhere.
What?
Not only has Lisa been murdered,
He left her body and took her head. That is fuck. I ain't gonna lie, that's some sick shit right there. For real.
but her body has been
It's just
desecrated,
like him.
and this peaceful neighborhood has been
It's
torn apart.
They let us know that somebody was found dead next door to lose a child that way. And that baby is an extension of her mother and the rest of her family. So they lost a child as well. They lost two.
So how did we get here?
Bro, that shit sad as fuck. I ain't gonna lie. I ain't gonna pause it no more. I'm gonna let it play.
What happened to lead this young woman who had her whole life ahead of her and was soon to be a mother to such a horrible end? To understand how this crime unfolded, we'll need to go back 24 hours. We find Lisa just living her life, looking forward to her future ahead. Here she is on her porch at just before 2 p.m. on June 8th, scrolling on her phone and looking out at the lawn. In 10 hours, she'll be dead.
Damn. Really?
Ain't that absolutely gorgeous? Thank you.
I, I, I might edit that out. I ain't gonna lie.
Lisa Dodd was born in Alton, Madison County on August 14th, 1999. She was a bright and enthusiastic child with a particular love for animals. For her 10th birthday, instead of receiving we were just excited and kind of gathering the items she needed to have a baby. Lisa hadn't yet decided on a name for her baby. The family were just calling it Baby Bean, and they were looking forward to the birth and everything that would come afterwards. She was a loving soul, a beautiful soul. And I just wish she would have known how loved she was. You know, that she wouldn't have ever been alone, that she could have gotten out of this relationship and had a full life. Lisa was in an on again, off again relationship with a man named DeAndre Holloway, another Illinois native. DeAndre is the same age as Lisa. It's unclear how they met, but they've been seeing each other for a while, nearly 2 years. DeAndre also has some issues. He uses substances, and he's had a difficult home life, according to his half sister, PJ. How long has he not lived there?
Yeah, it's 18.
And how old is he now? Okay. What are you doing with that? What do you know about DeAndre's life currently, like about like his relationship status and things like that, and then where he lives and things like that?
Um,
I was finna talk shit, but I ain't even gonna say nothing. I'm gonna let it play. I wanna see who it actually is first before I talk shit.
he lives pretty much with everybody. Like, well, he lives with his girlfriend, but like whenever they get into it, like he hops in different people's homes. He's also taken Lisa with him on this shiftless lifestyle in the past. At one point, according to her old boss at Dairy Queen, the couple were homeless, living in a tent by Lake Litchfield. I think she was making up a story. Okay. And she finally did tell me that she had had some problems with her boyfriend was hitting her, and they were actually homeless and were living out at the campground at the lake. At the start of 2022, they moved into the apartment building in Alton, but things weren't going well between the couple. She had a lot of personal problems with the boyfriend, a lot of calling off. She had a lot of black eyes when she would come in. When she first started, she would make excuses that her dog had jumped up and hit her and caused her black eyes. She was constantly running late, like for personal reasons. Always something coming up. A lot of black eyes, like you were saying, on her arms, like where you could see, like maybe grabbing. Okay. That kind of thing. Lisa's boss once even witnessed one of these altercations.
What specifically did you see when the day you actually witnessed her being battered? What did you see?
What in the face?
You saw Mr. Holloway punch her
face? Yeah.
So what, were they in the car when that happened, or were they outside the car?
No, they were in the car, and we have cameras in the back of the building. We actually tried to roll the cameras back, but they're not very good definitions, so we weren't able to actually see it.
Okay.
Yeah.
And was he in the driver's seat?
Yes, he was.
Okay. And did she return to work after that happened?
She did.
And did you see any? Did she have any visible injuries on that occasion?
Face was red.
Okay.
Hey, that's fucking crazy, bro. Some of y'all dudes need therapy. I ain't gonna lie, cause that's fucking. You should be hitting on a female. I'm just gonna say that. That's it.
Did she say anything, or was she confronted about that?
I asked her about it, and she said they had gotten in an argument. Eventually, after the excuses about the dog and things like that stuff, she was honest about it and just said that they were always arguing and fighting, and that they would make up and it would happen again.
Okay. Did she like specifically that day when she was struck, was there any conversation like after the fact when she comes back into work about the police or
I wanted to call the police and she didn't know what to do.
okay.
On one occasion, in July 2021, Lisa landed in the hospital after DeAndre apparently broke her nose and gave her 2 black eyes. They'd also been seen arguing on the street in the past. And following one such argument, a witness saw DeAndre punching himself in the face as if to punish himself. It got bad to the extent that in September 2021, she texted her boss.
Bro, you know how crazy a motherfucker. Bro, you know how crazy that shit is? Bro. Hey, y'all struggling, whatever. Get some help if you need it now. Don't be quiet about it.
My boyfriend beat me again, and I had to go to my mom's. They're wanting me to stay in a safe place because he's threatened before to harm us. Is there any way I could get my shift for tomorrow covered until things settle down a little? I can work the rest of the week. We're just trying to make place to stay safe.
This didn't last, however. Lisa and DeAndre were back together soon enough. In May, DeAndre introduced Lisa to his half-sister, PJ. According to her, DeAndre was the father of Lisa's baby.
You can tell him right now.
Yes.
And I know it's a dumb question. Like, did he say it was his?
Yes.
And like, whenever they fight, what does he do? Like, what does he do?
He just takes off and nobody knows where he goes.
So do you know they fight a lot before? Or how do you know that?
He told me.
He'd been texting a friend about his poor mental state. On June 5th, just after midnight, he wrote, I feel like it's all the emotions I've ever put to the side just coming out now at once for real. My cup filled up and now it's got to spill over. I don't know how to healthily let out emotions without snapping or crying because I'm too pissed to talk. He also wrote, I've always had to be the man even when I was a kid and was always put in grown man situations with so much pressure on me, and even to this day still. He sounds like a man close to his breaking point. And on Tuesday, June 7th, DeAndre went missing. PJ added Lisa on social media as the family tried to search for him. Everyone must recognize free delivery means unexpected guests of any size are not a problem. Carl looks like he can eat.
She's a machine. This is why I'm a Walmart Plus member. Groceries delivered for you today.
I see you, boss.
I shall kill you one by one.
Good try.
I'm currently friends with her now because we were looking for him yesterday because he went missing. So I found her on Facebook and tried to get some information to see if he,
No comment.
Okay.
if she knew.
That's dark.
The first person she called was my grandma, and she asked my grandma if he was at her house, and she said no.
I ain't gonna lie, y'all females better start leaving these dudes when they do shit like this. This shit ain't healthy, bro. And no condition say you be going through something like that as a female. Chill.
And the girlfriend said that he didn't come home Tuesday night into Wednesday, and she was looking for him and stuff, and she thought that he may have went to my grandma's house. So my grandma called me and asked if he was up there or if I heard from him.
Lisa came home from work on Tuesday to find that DeAndre wasn't there. He hadn't said anything about when or if he'd be home. Lisa, pregnant nearly to full term and with a lot on her plate, was understandably stressed out. She texted her mom about it at around 9 p.m. on June 7th. She wrote,
You think he'd just leave like this?
fretting that he'd taken some clothes with him and that he deliberately left, never to return.
I think I got left.
Heidi tried to comfort her, looking for a silver lining in the situation. She'd been concerned about her daughter's relationship for some time now, and this seemed like maybe a blessing in disguise. If this is how it's meant to happen, at least it was nonviolent, she wrote. And you've been set free. Lisa replied.
I'm not seeing it that way yet.
Heidi asked, did he talk about anything going on he wanted to go to? But Lisa had no answers. She just replied,
no, we just had a weird day.
And said that she reacted badly to him that day. Her mom dug for more information, and Lisa said,
I broke a razor down and cut my leg because I told him I was just going to kill myself.
Why were you going to kill yourself? Her mom asked. This calm response possibly indicating it wasn't the first time she'd heard something like this from her daughter. Lisa told her,
because I just can't get it right.
if DeAndre had been spiraling, then clearly so had Lisa. The relationship was a powder keg waiting to explode. But in the end, Heidi convinced her that stressing out wouldn't help her or her baby. Eventually, Lisa went to bed, but not before taking her car out on a half-hour nighttime drive at 1:39 a.m., too anxious to sleep. The next morning, at 7:06 a.m., she texted her mom. Still no. DeAndre still hadn't come home. She went through her morning routine, washing her work clothes for her shift later, as if it was a normal day. But she felt like something was seriously wrong. She wrote,
I still feel like he'll show up, but I can't tell.
This is when she started reaching out to DeAndre's family, including his half sister, PJ. Heidi suggested you could call APD and ask if he was arrested, or ask Joe if there was anything weird on the cameras. Joe was Lisa's landlord. She did as her mom suggested and texted him.
My boyfriend didn't come home last night and he left his phone. I was wondering if you could watch the cameras and tell me if you see him leave and what he was wearing. His family and I are really worried.
The CCTV showed that DeAndre had gone out with his uncle Marty, his dad's brother, on Tuesday evening.
The girlfriend called the landlord to their apartment because they have cameras on the apartment and stuff. And she asked the landlord if he can go back and look at the cameras and stuff to see if he saw DeAndre, which he did like around 6:24 when he left the apartment, and he went with his uncle that lives in St. Louis.
Is everybody believing at that point or like?
Not really, but the girlfriend said that his uncle was supposed to bring him back that night, and he's supposed to call like before 10, and then it was after 10.
But he didn't come back that night. PJ went to bed early on the evening of June 8th without hearing anything else. Lisa, meanwhile, received a message out of the blue at about 8 p.m. from DeAndre's uncle, saying he was bringing DeAndre back and that everything was fine. With his uncle, that's who called anyway. Her mom replied, where does his uncle live? And that's still across the bridge, Lisa said, and yeah, I agree.
Not make that guy for an ultra?
Heidi wasn't happy about the way her heavily pregnant daughter was being treated. She didn't trust DeAndre at all. She told Lisa, and of course it's your fault, that, and you better be careful so he doesn't give you something that Bean will catch. Ignoring this advice, Lisa went to pick DeAndre up. They could be seen here on CCTV, arriving back at their apartment at 9:11 p.m. While in the car, Lisa texted her mom, I'm trying to figure it out. This was the last text she'd ever sent, and this CCTV image is the last time she'd ever be pictured. At 10:49 p.m., Heidi texted, You okay? And received no reply. By then, Lisa was already dead. Over the next few hours of CCTV, various neighbors come and go. Neither Lisa nor DeAndre are seen again until 11:57 p.m., when DeAndre comes out. He's carrying a white laundry basket. He comes to stand next to Lisa's car without getting inside, suggesting he's forgotten the keys. He's changed his clothes, and he's now wearing dark shoes and a face covering. He goes back inside and comes out again a few minutes later, again carrying the laundry basket. He walks out of frame and towards an
Bro, this is fucking crazy, bro. Ain't no fucking way your ass is that fucking. I'm let it play.
nearby smoke shop around the back of which is a dumpster.
I'm gonna stop pausing this one.
Business displays the rest. At 1 minute past midnight, we can see the white laundry basket being thrown into the
But
dumpster.
if y'all ass need help, get your ass some fucking help. That's fucking dumb as fuck. Especially being a dude on your part. Goddamn, y'all niggas need to grow some nicks. Yeah, I don't know. Goddamn, I don't know what to say. Goddamn. But, bruh, if you need fucking help, ask for that shit. Ain't no reason you should stay in some shit like this. I'm talking about female wise, cause, bruh, some of y'all really be liking that shit, and that shit ain't even healthy for real. It ain't good for you.
Alongside some clothes.
But
This laundry basket, as the police will later discover, contains Lisa's head. 2 hours later, her car is missing from the parking lot. DeAndre has gone to his mother's house.
And then my sister said around 2:30 in the morning that he's like banging on the door and stuff. And he's like pacing, like acting there
Where?
at her house.
This morning?
Um, yeah, this morning
Okay.
at 2:30.
PJ finds him in the bathroom at around 10 a.m. the next morning, June 9th, 3 hours before Lisa's mom will discover her daughter's body.
I seen my grandma standing at the doorway to the bathroom, and I looked and I'm like, oh, there's Tiik. And then he was cutting his hair off and stuff, and I asked him why he was cutting his hair off, and he just said a fresh start.
Yeah. And what's the demeanor like?
He was nervous. It's like, you can tell he was really nervous.
If your personal opinion, why do you think he's cutting his hair off?
Got in trouble.
DeAndre hasn't cut his hair in 2 years, and he's proud of his dreadlocks. Will he be cutting his hair off today of all days? He asks his mom if he can take a shower and have some clothes. She gives him a change of clothes, including a pair of gray sweatpants.
Clothes that he had on. He took them outside for some reason, and he said it by the sidewalk. And then he comes back in, and then he was,
Did you think those clothes off?
yes.
So that why he said he didn't have a shirt to wear. So when do you see him take the clothes off?
He had a hoodie on and some pants, and then he took his shirt off or his hoodie off when he was cutting his hair, I guess, because it was already off.
Mhm.
And then he still had the pants on and stuff, and the hoodie was on the bathroom floor.
And that's when he gets out and asks around for clothes. And then you have a shirt on, obviously. Yeah, what were those clothes?
I know it was a bucket hat. I think it was like blue.
You get that on.
Yeah,
Okay.
sorry.
So
He had like a bucket hat on. I think it was like blue or something.
anything about the hoodie that you're on? With the shirt he had on. So he when he took a shower, those clothes are all in the bathroom?
Yeah.
And then that's when he gets the gray pants from your mom and does he ask you for a shirt?
No, I just gave.
So then what does he do with the clothes?
After he got out of the shower, he took them outside, put them by the sidewalk where our trash can was. And then he comes back in the house, chats for a little bit and stuff. And then my grandma was cooking breakfast, and she asked him if he wanted a plate, and he said, yeah. And then that's when he went back outside. And then I guess the clothes that he had on the sidewalk, he put them in the trash, which they're in there now.
PJ was asleep when DeAndre came home that night at around 2:30 a.m., but her sister was awake.
She said that when he was banging on the door and stuff, it scared her. And she was asleep in the living room watching Netflix when I sleep. But she was awake.
You four girls there then? Sister, mom, grandma, all there overnight?
It was me, my mom, sister, grandma. Yes.
Yep.
She said that she hears like really loud banging and stuff, and then she looks out and she said she's seen D. And then when she opened the door, she looked in the parkway in the parking lot in her driveway.
Mhm.
And then she said that she seen a black car. And his girlfriend drives a black car.
I don't got nothing to say, bro. I'm gonna keep thinking stuff like that.
Why are you paying $80 for garbage internet? This is Ryoko Pro. It's a pocket-sized Wi-Fi hotspot, about the size. It seems strange to DeAndre's family that he showed up driving his girlfriend's car without his girlfriend. And the suspicious signs don't end there. His grandmother notices he's got other items of Lisa's property. He had I don't even know what his girlfriend's name is. Okay. But anyhow, he had gave me her ID and the debit card. Okay. And I said, well, why you got her debit card? Yeah. And license, you know. And I said, now she out there driving, and then she thinks she got her license, and you got it. Then this morning, he gave me 2 keys. Okay. And I said, well, where you get these keys from? And he said he found them on the ground. But he didn't say where he found them on the ground. And I said, well, give it here. I said, then I can get in touch with her. Okay. And you want to put that stuff in there? I'm getting it back there. This here? Yeah. Is that yours? No, I'm trying. All right. I'm trying to get it to her. Okay, that's what I'll do. I'll take care of it. You sure that? Yeah. The key too? Yeah. All right. Thank you. All right. Okay. Did he tell you what those keys were for? He just told me he found them. What did he say to you when you asked him why he had that stuff? He didn't give an answer? Just look like he's in a daze or something. DeAndre doesn't have an answer as to why he'd have Lisa's possessions. And at around midday, he leaves the house without any real word about where he's going. He said, I'm going to cut some grass. And so she asked him, where was he going to cut grass? And he just said, he's going to cut grass. Okay. And he left on foot? He left on foot. It seems like DeAndre has been trying to cover his tracks. He's made himself less recognizable, changing his clothes and throwing them in the garbage. He's been carrying many of Lisa's personal belongings, which he's handed off to his grandmother to get rid of. And he's left Lisa's car parked on the street with a handwritten "for sale" sign in its window. Now he's taken off on foot. His behavior is making the truth of what happened that fateful night clearer and clearer. A truth that Lisa's mom, it seems, has known all along. She said as much on her call to 911. Heidi didn't need to catch DeAndre in the act to know what he'd done.
Are you upset with me right now? Okay, Jonathan, they're coming, so you haven't boyfriend or talked to him at all.
It seems she spoke too soon when she told her daughter to be grateful things had ended safely without violence.
Even being mom, like, you were that was telling me. I knew what was going on. I was telling you that. From last night of him just coming out to what's going on now, I have no clue. Like what has transpired. Are you afraid of him? Yeah, I got a lot of protection on him. Okay. What prompted you to get that? He was staying with me for a couple days. And I was becoming frightening, like he was going to do something. So I was like, you gotta go. And so when he left, he called my daughter back and was like, I love you guys, and come back to you.
So what actually happened inside the apartment that night between the couple walking inside at 9:11 p.m.?
I ain't gonna lie, I ain't need.
He was staying with me for a couple days. And I was becoming frightening, like he was going to do something. So I was like, you gotta go. And so when he left, he called my daughter back and was like, I love you guys, and come back to you.
No. Uh, no
So
comment.
what actually happened inside the apartment that night between the couple walking inside at 9:11 p.m. and DeAndre coming back out just before midnight? Their downstairs neighbors have been witnesses to a lot of the violence in their relationship.
For the past few days, they've been arguing, and that's nothing new.
Okay.
They fight, like they used to fight all the time. It would be loud fighting, and we actually had to call the cops on them before because don't know who it was, but somebody picked something up and slammed it against the wall. We assumed it was one of them throwing each other.
And on the night of June 8th, they heard it all.
Last night it was different. It was like we got home from picking me up from work. I got home from work around 9:30-ish. And their front door was cracked, which is unusual. They don't
9:30 p.m. last night. Okay.
they don't usually leave their front door cracked. And it was. And that was a little weird. And I heard like muffled yelling, like not screaming, but yelling in a way, kind of like in pain. Like you just like snipped your finger with a scissor and you had to put some of your mouth so you wouldn't scream too loud. That's what it sounded like.
She said it sounded like muffled screaming.
Kind of, but it wasn't too loud.
Okay.
And then later on, we heard like the apartment shakes a little bit whenever you move too much, and it started shaking. And we're like, okay, they must be fighting or something. And we were gonna wait to see if it got better, or like if it did, because we were just gonna go sit outside and wait it out.
Yeah.
So we didn't have to deal with it. And so whenever that was happening, the apartment was shaking, they were fighting about something, and then all of a sudden, the screaming got really, really loud and really intense. And that was, I would think, probably about 9:45, 9:50. And then the apartment had like 5 or 6 loud like thuds, and they got louder and louder each time.
Okay.
And they shook the apartment as well. And that sounded more like it was coming from.
So, like, what did it sound like experienced in life, to your best ability, that would have created, or possibly created the sound that you heard?
Probably, I really don't know other than like chopping wood.
Okay.
Because that's what it felt like he had enough. I don't mean to he, but like, you know, that's what it sounded like there was enough time to do. Was like, it was very constant beats too.
Okay.
So that's what made me think it sounded like that.
So do you think it sounded like an instrument hitting something, or do you think, or what, something is making you, kind of envision that through sound, you know what I mean? Like, we hear something and our brain is gonna take that information in, right, what we're hearing, feeling, and we're gonna kind of like paint this mental.
Mm-mm.
Does you see?
That shit, I can't do it. Man. That shit fucking with my stomach. I can't do it.
The neighbor texted their landlord. She wrote, "Hey, I don't really know what to do. We got home, and as soon as we walked in, we started feeling thumps, and then someone started screaming for like 5 minutes straight. It stopped for a minute, then the thumping started back up. The neighbor's door upstairs was also cracked open." The landlord tried to get in touch with Lisa, but heard nothing in response. The neighbor said, "If we hear it back up again, we'll call the cops." But they didn't hear it start back up again because it was already too late. With all of this evidence mounting up, at around 9:30 p.m. on June 9th, the police execute a search warrant on DeAndre's mother's house. In the trash can outside it, in line with PJ's statement, they find the discarded clothing he was wearing in the CCTV footage, as well as his cut-off dreadlocks wrapped in toilet paper. There's no sign of DeAndre himself. But at 1:45 a.m., the early hours of June 10th, the investigators receive a phone call from the Gillespie, Illinois Police Department. That afternoon, they took a John Doe into custody, whom they later recognized as none other than DeAndre Holloway. The Alton Police Department had been gearing up for a manhunt, but there's no need. DeAndre was arrested in possession of cannabis that afternoon in Gillespie.
Every Raising Cane's chicken finger is cooked to order to perfection. Raising Cane's chicken fingers, one love.
They fucking head.
Who says you gotta pay more for a great steak? Barbasol steaming.
I don't have that. Okay, whatever. Okay. Have cannabis on it. Oh, that's you. Okay.
DeAndre is restless with the officers.
Water and then, yeah, and, I would like some water because you guys gotta, there's water. Okay, just water. Is it okay if I walk around? Is it okay if I stand up and take a step, like a couple steps? What you gonna do? Why get that? Put your hands up or something? Yeah. That's fine. Yeah. He's doing his job. This man's done nothing but his job. Where you need to shut back down the sheriff. Didn't you just say up the place? No, I didn't say the place. I thought you said you had deep pants. If you could sit down in there, please. Thank you. Do you mind if I pay you that? We want to spend job here, okay? We don't want that. We want your chef. So if you could please sit down, guys. I can't. I'm doing this. Then you can just sit down. I really can't do it. You need to sit down. Why are you not scared of me for what? I'm not scared. You need to sit down. I'm listening. You're taking your hands up. I can't do shit. You got to trust me. Okay, so what's your name? What you're gonna do? I literally asked if I was being detained. That man said no. And then he proceeded to ask me the same question over and over and over. And I said the same thing. And again, this is not happening because you got an attitude problem with me. I got an attitude problem too. I know. I got it. I'm not sitting down. But now I can make you sit down, so I'm not. What did I just do? I said I could. I'm not going to do it. I'm scared of what? You know, guys, we're not going to get into this. Oh, what happened? Why are you just being mean to me? I'm not being mean to you. I said you're pacing back and forth, and you said, "Well, set me down." I said, "I could if I wanted to, but I don't want to." He's behaving manically, pacing, and repeatedly questioning the officers. At one point, he starts to laugh and bang his head against the wall.
And why did they? I'm telling you, females like stuff like this, bro.
The cops take drastic measures to restrain him from hurting himself. They keep him on the floor as he assures them he's going to get out. He still refuses to tell them who he is. But it doesn't matter. The investigators from Alton come to arrest him on suspicion of Lisa's murder. They carry out a warrant for DNA, fingerprints, and other samples. And at around midday the next day, June 10th, nearly 24 hours since the discovery of Lisa's body, the investigators sit down with DeAndre for an interview. But DeAndre is not talking. He refuses to give them any information, even his name, which they already know. He just keeps saying he wants to go to work, though it's not clear if he's actually employed. He also says he's dissociated and that he's once been prescribed medication by a doctor. After this, he asks for his lawyer, and the investigators comply, terminating the interview. On June 13th, DeAndre is charged with 2 counts of first-degree murder, 2 counts of intentional homicide of an unborn child, a human body, offenses relating to motor vehicles, and concealment of homicidal death. Bond is set to $2 million. The case
Bro, that's fucking crazy. And he actually fucking did it. See, I ain't want to say shit, but that is fucking. This shit is just sick, bro.
leads to a lot of local emotion, including from the police chief.
What happened to 22-year-old Lisa Dodd, who had just moved to this place in Albany, is beyond irreplaceable. It is completely terrible what happened to her. Her unborn child was also killed as a result of this.
DeAndre's family, however, entreat the public to take the nuances of his circumstances into account. His stepfather, Chris Hawk, takes to YouTube to talk about it on June 16th.
I never thought I would be recording a video like this. First of all, I want
Yeah, that motherfucker. All that motherfucking talking,
Been
man.
charged, and he's not doing well in jail. He's been refusing to come out of his cell and making threats to corrections officers. These included saying, "I will cut off your head." He refuses to attend his virtual court appointment on June 14th, and officers forcibly restrain him to bring him.
Bruh, they have this man strapped up. And you telling me you didn't want to leave this man? You gotta think about this shit, bro. Look how this man is now, bro.
These issues remain in his case. He's found mentally unfit to stand trial and undergoes treatment at a state institution until he regains competency to face the charges. At the same time, the Illinois Supreme Court rules that an unborn child cannot be considered a second murder victim for the purpose of seeking a life sentence. This impacts the sentence that can be sought in DeAndre's case. But in January 2024, he enters a guilty plea. On January 17th, 2025, he is sentenced to 60 years in prison. This includes 30 years on the murder charge, 20 on the homicide charge, and 10 on the concealment charge to be served consecutively. He'll have to serve at least 52 years before he's eligible to be released. There remain no real answers as to why he killed Lisa, though there's plenty of speculation out there. Jealous that she was having another man's baby, snapping under the stress of a failing relationship, or just finally going too far in a continued pattern of violence. We'll never know the truth. Lisa's family, meanwhile, continues to mourn.
That's crazy. But y'all be safe out here. And don't stay with no person that's, man, if somebody beat you, do not stay with them. Seek help, do something. I don't know, bro. But to go through some stuff like that and stay and continue to come back is crazy. Uh, but y'all stay blessed. Y'all have a great day. I don't know.